What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27, Angry Teacher Chronicles, and this is my review for Greenleaf, new series, Greenleaf Season 4, Episode 1. So, yeah, we will be reviewing this. So let's talk about it. They start off at church. And let me just say, I guess Charity is no longer the minister of music. This new minister of music, say what you want, she is jamming. I'm here for her. She was jamming, okay? I was here for it. Music was great. And then you had the white guy, Bob Whitmore. He comes on and he kind of talks about the transition from just regular Calvary to now is Harmony and Hope or something like that. But it's still going to be Calvary, but they'll be a part of the Harmony and Hope franchise because I guess we're franchising churches now. Like we franchise McDonald's or whatever. Grace goes up to preach because now she's the interim pastor. And he tells her as she's coming up, hey, hun, make it short, honey. Ciao. She goes up there and she speaks. And let me say this before I continue on. Shouts out to Lynette and Stanley, who I am so looking forward to their Greenleaf review. To me, they do random TV reviews that's their channel, Random TV Reviews. Lynette and Stanley have the best Greenleaf review. No knock on this review that I'm doing right now. I'm not telling you not to watch my review, but I'm just promoting them. They already have a lot of subscribers. But anyway, because they are church folk. I'm church folk too, but they are church folk. And they, to me, have the best reviews of this show. To me, this is the best show. This is their best reviews that they do, is of Greenleaf. So I'm always curious to see their reviews of this show. Anyway, after service is over, one of the members comes and talks to, what is this child name? Grace's daughter. I can't remember her name. I'm getting like my girl Really BTV, can't remember nobody's name. Anyway, she talks to her about, hey, I didn't see you in church in a while. And she was like, oh, I've been preparing for college and going away to college and so forth. She brushes it off. Girl, we see you. We know you had become a whole atheist and everything almost. And I was surprised she was at church anyway. But I guess, you know, if your mom becomes the interim pastor, you do kind of have to go and support your mom. So I guess that's what she was doing there. So then Bishop James Greenleaf. James wants to go over and confront Bob Whitmore and Connie, the deaconess, about a lot of the changes and the stuff that they don't like, this, that, and the third. And May and Grace convince him not to. And so after that, though, May ceremoniously goes over there and starts her confrontation between Bob Whitmore and Connie, because she says it's time for me to bury the dead. Yeah. You know, May always have a good read locked and loaded, huh? Always have a good read locked and loaded. Child, when she got through going in on them, Connie had that toilet paper stuck on the bottom of her wedge shoes. I don't know if they were wedge. I'm not hip to female shoes, but it was the old lady shoes with the thick heel that's like that thick. Child, them old grandma shoes, honey. Anyway, she had some toilet paper hooked onto it, stuck to it, and I found it funny watching her walk away like she was all high and mighty with this toilet paper stuck to the bottom of her shoe. Girl, please. Then we had Grace. She's in her office, and this guy Phil, who's supposed to be in charge of the transition and so forth, he talks to Grace, and he pretty much tells Grace, hey boo, I know you put in and said that you wanted your sister and your brother to be associate pastors. Ain't gonna happen. You got your brother over here who was damn near sent to jail because of money laundering and whatever he had going on over at Triumph last season. And then you got your sister who was damn near arrested. Was she arrested? I don't remember. But damn near arrested for kidnapping charges because she stole a baby from her husband, so forth and so on. And we can't have them as associate pastors. What bulletless gun are you holding thinking you got a shot at making them associate pastors? Girl, fall back. He wasn't here for her at all. And so she kind of had to come to terms with that. And she's trying to play the game at first, but then we'll see later on that, she has to, just say, throw caution to the wind and just go for broke. And let me just say, while I'm still early on in this review, I will be honest. If I'm being brutally honest, I was very unimpressed with this season premiere. And that's because, in my estimation, when you have a season premiere, I'm not saying that this was not a good episode. I'm not saying that. But a season premiere is supposed to hit you hard. You're supposed to have high drama, high action, high everything, so as to, bring in or garner the viewership, get people hooked in, and cause them to say, ooh, it's going to be good this season. Now, this seemed like more of a mid-season episode as opposed to a season premiere episode, because in season premieres it's supposed to give you all this stuff that you're supposed to be looking forward to. Ooh, I want to see what's gonna happen with that. Ooh, I want to see what's gonna happen with that. Ooh, I want to see what's gonna happen with that. And I didn't get any of that. I just got it. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. Oh, okay. And I'm not saying it was bad, but to categorize it as a season premiere, I felt that it missed the bar. It did not do what I like a season premiere to do. And that's just me being brutally honest. Then we see the bishop. James goes to confront Bob Whitmore about some of the things. He goes to his old office where Bob Whitmore is sitting, feet up on the desk and all, talking to his grandchild. I don't know if he was really talking to the grandchild, but he played it off like he was talking to the grandchild. Anyway, and he goes to confront him, and I think James needs to come to terms. Hey, James, this is a white guy. He's entitled. And he played the same entitled white guy scenario. You can come in here hooping and hollering, but hey, I got the money. I hold all the cards. I am entitled, and I am a white guy, and you're a black man, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can tell me all you claim you're going to do, and when the dust settles, I will come out the victor. And he knows that. He knows that. And I'm not going to go into the specificities of the conversation that they had, but just know he certainly let James know in every way, shape, and form, hey, I got this. You can be as mad as you want to. It's my world. You're just living in it. So then we see Grace. She's talking to Aaron on the phone. Aaron is the boothang, the bae of Charity's husband. What's Charity's husband's name? Y'all know the names I'm forgetting right now. But he's the lawyer guy. Real cute. He was looking real cute, like a whole ass neck. Had on a little turtleneck, caressing his body and showing all his little muscles and stuff. Had a nice little tape up and shit. He was looking real good in that little nice little office. I was like, okay, Aaron, I see you. But Grace was kind of trying to vent to him. And he was like, Grace, hey, boo, you have to understand this change has to happen. The church was really kind of falling apart, and there was this need for there to be change. So he kind of had her come to grips with, there needs to be change. You need to embrace it, because it was going to be inevitable in order for things to happen the way they needed to happen for the church to progress. So I'm glad that he told her that. So then we see Zora, that's Jacob and Carissa's daughter. She wants her own space. She's 18 now. She's an adult, and so Carissa and Jacob have moved the family back into the Greenleaf estates. Okay, the palatial estates of the Greenleafs. And there's a cabin or a guest house, whatever you want to call it, out back that's not being used. And she wants that as her own. And she goes and she talks to her mom about it. And Carissa was like, I want it before you get it. And so, anyway, there's this conversation between Jacob and Carissa. Also, and Jacob gets a call from one of the parishioners from Triumph, and he kind of ignores it. And Carissa is, she's jealous, and she, is skeptical as to who this is that is really calling him. And he tells her, hey, I forgot the lady's name. I think it was Doris or something like that. And he was like, oh, it's so and so from Triumph. She was like, really? Really? And I'm not here for Carissa. I do not like, she looks like a chicken. Every time I see her, she gives me chicken. She has the long neck. She has this little pseudo mohawk thing going. She's skinny. She just gives me chicken every time I see her. Like I can see her going, bak, 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 bak. I could just see her doing that. So I just have, called her a chicken. Anyway, but she doesn't trust Jacob at all. Jacob is like, oh no, this is not Tasha, Tasha Skanks, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, mm-hmm. Anyway, so then we're at this big family dinner, and shit just goes south at the family dinner. I mean, it just goes haywire. It was just a damn mess, just a damn mess. You got Carissa, who is unbridled, cannot be controlled. She is all out of control. And first of all, if that was my damn house, how long? Hold on, heifer. Hold on, whore. You are not finna be sitting your ass up in my goddamn house at my goddamn dinner table, paying no rent at all, and over here flapping your gums, talking all kind of shit and noise like you running the place. Girl, if you don't fall the fuck back, girl, if you don't fall all the way the fuck back. She was so out of control. And Jacob, man, I don't want to throw out this notion that in every relationship the man needs to control the woman, but in this situation Jacob needed to get control of her because she was out of control. And his daddy kind of told him afterwards, hey, you need to control her, put a leash on her. Because she was so out of control. Grace kind of got fed up about everything because everybody's coming at Grace. Everybody's expecting Grace to do everything. I don't know how they magically want her to fix all the problem when if these whores had all of the answers, they would have fixed all the problem when they were in charge. And now all of a sudden that they not in charge and they ain't in involved with stuff no more. Now they want her to be the solver. You over here talking all this noise, Carissa, but when Jacob was in charge of Triumph, you couldn't figure out what to do over there. You wasn't fixing the problems over there, and now you want her to be the problem solver over at Calvary. Girl, Carissa, if you don't fall the fuck back, you couldn't even run your own household. Your own daughter running away from home. Girl, if you don't sit down somewhere, Carissa. Then you got Charity. This whore is a whole ass delusional. Somebody done told her that she's a preacher. Girl, if you don't sit your big ass the fuck down somewhere, Charity. Girl, I wasn't here for Charity. Charity is a whole ass delusional. She's on this whole train. Just like Carissa, blaming everything on Charity. Talk about, hey, did you get me to be associate pastor yet? Girl, you ain't been you ain't been no junior pastor. You ain't been no make-believe pastor. Bitch, you ain't even pastored your own family. Bitch, you wasn't even a pastor when we was playing church as little kids. Girl, hold on, y'all. Let me have a drink, Chap. Then you got Jacob, who's just useless and pointless. You might as well chop off his testicles, put them on a silver platter, and serve them for dinner. Because he's, giving up his testicles. I'm just saying. What is his point? After the family dinner that went south, you got May and Grace May is talking to Grace, and May is like, listen, Grace wants to tell Charity and Jacob about her paternity. May is like, boo, it ain't time. It ain't time. And so May tells her, no, you need to wait. It's not time. Let us take care of what's going on with the church first. Let us handle all that. And then perhaps we could do it. Y'all know what May is trying to do. May is trying to buy herself some time so that hopefully Grace forgets and she'll never have to tell it. Because now your son and your daughter is gonna find out that you were a whole ass whore. Anyway, moving on. Carissa and there was a lot that went on, but I'm not going to tackle everything. Just going to tackle some points that stuck out to me. Jacob has not been put on yet as associate pastor. So basically, he don't have no job. And so there was this whole thing where he was talking about how this lady, one of his old parishioners at Triumph, wants him to be, a counselor or mentor for this guy who's a professional basketball player. And so he's supposed to meet with the GM of the team and talk about his role as mentor or advisor for this player. And so Carissa is like, listen, how much is it gonna pay? Because she wants Jacob to get a job so she can get up out of the Greenleaf estates. Then we see May in the room changing clothes. She's in her lingerie, undergarments, and so forth. James walk in and he's feeling all hot down under. I guess he took his Cialis or Viagra that night, and he's all hot and bothered looking at her, and he's trying to hit, say, oh, can I get up in bed with you? And May is like, no, girl, please. She was like, no, ma'am, no, God. And she was like, listen, we are all the way divorced. And I don't blame her. She was like, you asked for the divorce. You got for this divorce. So, no, you're going to have to court me. And it's going to have to be real courting. You don't think you just finna roll back up in me like that? I'm single now, boo. And you're going to have to court me like you would any woman. And I was here for it. Next, we see Grace. She gets a call from someone from a prison. I was probably watching TV. I couldn't hear the name that was given. So until the end of the episode, I was trying to figure out who was that called her to try to call her from the prison, and she ignored the phone call. So then Zora asks May, can she move into the little cabin or guest house or whatever? And May says, did your mom and daddy say you could ask me that? And she was like, yeah. I don't know if Zora is telling the truth that her mom and dad said she could ask her that. Maybe I missed that part. Y'all put it in the comments because I don't remember her mom and dad said she could ask May that. But when she said, yeah, my mom and dad said I could. And so May says, I guess, whatever. So she goes and does that. But she tells Zora that she's going to have to go back to doing Bible study or prayer meeting or whatever she has to go back to doing 5 o'clock in the morning. So then we see Grace, she gets a message from Noah. If y'all remember Noah from season 1, Noah was the guy who left with his fiance or whatever. And remember him and Grace used to be flirting and stuff. Those of us who really know, Noah is the same guy who was on season 1 and 2 of Noah's Ark. And it's so I remember there season 1, it was so funny to me that his name was Noah and he was actually a character from the hit TV show Noah's Ark on Logo. Go and check that out if you haven't. Great series. Anyway, she gets a message on her phone for her to call him. And then we see Charity. She goes and talks to Phil. Remember the guy Phil who's supposed to be in charge of this transition? She's telling Phil, listen, I want to be associate pastor, this, that, and the third. Phil said, listen, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. If you want to be associate pastor, you're going to have to give me something. So I'm going to need for you to go and spy on your family. And I need all the dirt on the Greenleafs. And she's kind of apprehensive about it at first because this is her family. Put a bookmark in that. Because you know if this is drama, you know what's going to happen with that. Next, we see Jacob. Um, he goes to the GM office, like I talked about, to with the guy's mom to talk about his role as advisor or mentor for this professional basketball player. Now, GM says, "Listen, right now you don't have a job, and in order to secure this role, we need you to have a job. You need to be on somebody's church's letterhead. And from what we can see in the newspapers and the blogs, who are you to be advising anybody? Because it look like you cheating on your own wife left, right, and sideways, and you got all kind of money laundering allegations going on." So Jacob is now really pressed to get this associate pastor gig. Um, Finally, and I didn't talk about it, but when May talked to Grace about waiting to tell Jacob and Charity about her paternity, she also talked to Grace about, hey, because Grace talked to her about Bob Whitmore not allowing Charity, or Phil saying that Charity and Jacob could not be associate pastors. And May was like, no, you don't go and ask, you demand. There's no asking. You tell them this is what's going to happen. So Grace does that. Grace goes and she demands from Bob Whitmore that her sister and her brother become the associate pastors, or she's going to walk. And Bob Whitmore is trying to call her bluff, and he sees that she's not budging on it, and I think he's going to play the game with her. But he says to her, I've been watching you for a long time, way back in Arizona. So I don't know if that's true. What I think is he's got intel on her. I don't think he's really been watching her for that long. I think what really happened was when he decided to go after Triumph, he started doing his homework on the Greenleaf clan and seeing which one he wanted to attach himself to. And based on his intel and his recon, Grace was the one that he felt like he could get the best bang for his buck out of, get the most traction out of, the one who would be the best fit. And that's what he's saying. But I feel like he's telling her that so to kind of shake her, because he's seeing that she's not budging. And by him telling her that, I think that's his way of, putting cracks in the walls of her, trying to come and be all aggressive and confident. So, he's playing the game. And that's what entitled white men do. They call your bluff. And they'll just throw things out there just to see if you're going to budge. Just saying. So then we see Grace, who manages, she finds out that they're going to give the associate associate pastor to Jacob and not Charity, which only makes sense. I mean, Jacob was a whole pastor of a whole megachurch. Charity ain't been pastor nothing. Charity can't even run her own household. How you gonna run a church, dear God? And Charity is, of course, upset and in her feelings. So what Charity do? When she find out she didn't get it, she calls Phil and say, you know what? I'm in. I'll give you whatever you need me to give you in order for me to get in as associate pastor. And we all know Phil gonna use her and throw her away like a used up dish rag and never give her associate pastor. She gonna be used like all the other men use her. She's so gullible and stupid. And then the episode ends with Noah calling Grace, and Noah says, Grace, our child is in prison and he reached out to us, our son. So we find out that the person that called Grace from the prison was their son. So how old is this son that he's calling from prison? That means he's probably older than Grace's daughter. That child, how old was Grace when she had this son? Child, we'll see how that plays out this season, because that's gonna be real nice. Y'all know Greenleaf gives you highbrow drama, so you know it's going to be drama filled. I love to see how all of this is going to play out. And that's what we had this episode. I hope y'all like this review. Y'all know how I always say, see me in the comment section. I feel like it's really dark because my light is not on. Let's argue aga in the comment section, y'all. I'll catch y'all next week. We'll be right back here for another review of Greenleaf next week. And that's all I got for y'all. I'm out, y'all.